Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. And we journey into August of 1985 here in World Class. Interesting stuff. Some new talent, some returning talent, and some talent that becomes prominent a little bit later on. We do see the return of Hollywood John Tatum. I think it's the first time we've seen him referred to as Hollywood, wearing a purplish feathered boa, and he faces off against Brian Diaz. Interesting role for him here. He obviously does have that martial arts background that Fritz and friends seem to like. Does Tatum, and obviously Diaz been around for quite a while as a friend of the Von Erichs, and so basic match here. Uh, Tatum within, I don't know, probably 3 months of this, maybe a little less, takes a more prominent role, but they're getting him ready for that over the next couple of months. Go behind an attempted roll up early by Diaz. Diaz also been around for a while here, and he takes a prominent role in the next couple of months as well. Good stop of the momentum by Tatum, and he backs to the outside of the ring, tries to stall for time when needed. A lot of psychology in the match. They don't really do much during the first couple of minutes, but they get a crowd reaction anyway. And that's what this is supposed to be. Do the least and get the most. And I think today people forget that. They do so much, and it doesn't mean hardly anything. Everyone likes athleticism, but if the athleticism doesn't lead you to hate or love a guy or lady, then what's it worth? Cheap shot by Tatum, and he takes over on Diaz. Diaz really does, for a babyface, fight and claw a little bit more than average here, and we kind of do see a bit of go round there. Kind of see the shove off. Tatum tries to get rid of Diaz pretty early, then goes to a reverse chin lock. Doesn't get rid of him the way he wants to. Match slows down. They work the chin lock for at least a minute and a half, if not longer, and that's another sign that's kind of interesting. Diaz gets frustrated, though, because he is not victorious here. Pull of the tights and off a roll up, and Tatum is out of the arena, out of the sights. And now here's an interesting interview that I don't understand to this day. Jim Powers, otherwise known as the perennial enhancement talent for the WWF, probably 87 through, I don't know, 94, 95. You remember the Young Stallions? He is here having an ice cream with a banana split, actually, with Bill Mercer, discussing coming into wrestling. He's brand new, says he's in his just about rookie year here in 1985, and he came to Dallas because he watched it all the way up in New Jersey. A good way to put over the syndication, and he thought this is the best talent in the area or in the world, so that's why he's here. The thing that I find odd is you might see him twice, maybe, featured. So I don't know if somebody else picked him up and he had no contract, or, well, not that they had contracts back in the territory days. I misspoke. I don't know if World Class never had long-term plans for him, or he got a better offer, or what the deal was. Because, I mean, you see him do this and maybe one or two other matches, but he's not here long at all. I will say, even in 1985, he is jacked to the gills, and he is looking mighty fierce in a match here with Mike Bond. Bond, again, an enhancement talent who's pretty regular in the area. Good drop kicks and headlocks and really basic moves by Powers. I think Powers, more than anything, got to a place in his career where his ego and lack of willingness to maybe, do business the right way got in his way, as he had a lot of tools and They used him a lot in WWF. He just never rose very far. Anyway, Bond kind of takes the majority of the punishment early. Bond does make his way to the second rope on the inside, hits a diving elbow drop, which does not go well for him. Powers, who maybe moves a little slowly or something, hits a really awkward looking Russian leg sweep for the victory, and actually, a bit mockingly, but um, Bond actually lifts his legs slowly as though he's about to kick out, and basically mock kicks out after the pin. Not really noticeable, but it's there. Anyway, we move to the, I guess you'd consider semi-main event. Mark Lewin with Gary Hart against the Iceman King Parsons. Interesting match for the time. Parsons, a mainstay in Texas for several years now. Hart and Parsons have had go-arounds with other talents, including the one-man gang. Gary Hart goes out into the crowd with security in tow. And Mark Lewin, whenever he gets frustrated, will bail out of the ring. He is a very aggressive talent and tries to break down the walls, so to speak. So there are some shots, though, and punches and kicks that really miss by Lewin. So Lewin might have facials down, might have expressions down, might have intensity down, but his strikes leave a lot to be desired. Parsons goes in to try and finish him off and doesn't get all he wants out of doing that. Parsons does break free of some nerve hold related work and actually does get a shot at Gary Hart, believe it or not, and hits a headbutt on him, which is good for Parsons, not so good for Hart, obviously. Shots to the midsection from underneath by Parsons before that break the hold, and the use of whatever assets he can have, whatever offense he can muster, including a headbutt a couple of times by Parsons, and Lewin actually hanging outside the ropes for a good bit of time. They go out to the floor, and the match continues out there. Lewin grabs a chair and uses it on Parsons on the outside, or tries to, but gets driven into the ringside table with the chair on it by Parsons. They step up and over back into the ring. Match continues because the action with the foreign object took place on the floor. Is the only thing I can figure. Anyway, Parsons coming back with a series of punches, jabs actually, and that does not necessarily bode as well for King Parsons. One-man gang makes his way out during this, and the gang beats up on, or tries to beat up on Parsons. Big butt by Parsons, and he goes for that attempted pinfall, but gang runs out and gets rid of him really quickly, or tries to. We get a 1, 2, and a almost 3, but the disqualification takes place. Gang out next, and then we see kind of a double team on Parsons. As we mentioned, Gang and Parsons has happened before. Lewin and Gang are double teaming here, and Gary Hart has to pull everybody off and back under control, not before some damage is done. The dynamic duo, Chris Adams and Eugenio Hernandez, against the Von Erichs of Kerry and Kevin Von Erich. Seen this match many times. The dynamic duo tries to stall as much as they possibly can. The Von Erichs go to town. Basically, we see a lot of four-way brawling, and the Von Erichs are pretty strong. High leaps on double elbows by the Von Erichs on both men, actually, so that's kind of interesting there. I don't know if it's a Texas tornado match, but it certainly seems like it because the referee is allowing all four guys in the ring longer than average. So the referee either losing all control or having issues. They brawl around on the outside, specifically Kerry and Chris Adams are on the outside. Meanwhile, Kevin's got the stomach claw on Chris on the inside, and then Chris kind of breaks things down on Kevin. And then we see back in the ring a pair off with Kerry having the claw, Kevin having the claw. Both Von Erichs have the claw on their adversaries. This doesn't bode well for them, but they do manage to come free using low blow, among other tactics. The Von Erichs continue to dominate the offense, and Kerry is sent into the post on the outside right before the match ends, or close to it. About 3 minutes left in the program when that happens. The heels hold off and nail Kevin with a super kick into the jaw. Specifically, Adams hits the kick. Kerry comes back. Remember, we're talking a little over a year after Kerry was the world champion. A spike pile driver on the arena floor of the Sportatorium is what's up next here. Kerry kind of takes a shot, and then checks on his brother. Kevin is laid out, and the match is basically I would say discontinued at that point. But Kevin is outside. The ref doesn't stop the match, but Kevin's taken to the back. He can barely stand, and obviously the dynamic duo takes over, and they hit pretty sure they hit a fist drop, fist to the face on Kerry, and from the top rope. But Kevin breaks free of the security, breaks free of everybody, and goes back to help his brother. That was a horrible sell of the pile driver for sure, and Kerry hits the spinning discus punch, and we kind of close with no direct winner, but Kevin made to look superhuman here, and we close the August 3rd edition. We'll be back with more action right after this.